Well, as we welcome everybody into Red Card Radio this week, we do have to note that we are dealing with the loss of Queen Elizabeth II in England. That had postponed all the football matches in England through match week 7, both in the men's division and in the women's divisions. So we don't have a review episode for you guys tonight. We do have kind of a news episode and some European football that's been played, but we do, of course, want to extend sympathies to the royal family and anyone who is feeling, hurt by the passing of Queen Elizabeth. But we will do our best to have some levity here and have a fun episode for you guys. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. As always, my name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below, that is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, what's up? How is everybody doing?
Still processing, I think, is the best word.
Since we're providing levity, I will admit some ignorance here. Since Liverpool keep being the blunt of the reason for canceling the games because Liverpool fans can't be trusted. the only reason I could think of would be that their city is largely Irish. Is that the specific reason that Liverpool fans don't like the Queen or the monarchy or whatever you want the crown, or is there something else that I just don't know?
I don't know.
They're dicks.
Well, they are jerks, yes, but I just figured I do know that I'm almost certain that Liverpool is largely Irish.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or at least from Irish descent.
Yeah. I'm very American, and I have no idea about why certain groups of people in the United Kingdoms don't like the monarchy, for what reasons. Obviously, I can understand the Scottish English tension and the Irish English tension. I get all of that, but beyond that, I don't know. But
it did drag up a very funny video I saw of Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy being interviewed, and the interviewer, who's American, said, "You guys are both British," and Cillian was like, "No, I'm not. I'm Irish." And you could see Tom Hardy was like he almost sits back like, this should be good. And the guy was like, "Well, I just meant you guys are both, you guys are both from the British Isles." And he's like, "No, I'm Irish." And doubles down, and then the reporter or the interviewer tries to shift gears a little bit, but Tom Hardy's just like, "Go ahead." Keep going. Yeah, Tom's like, yeah. Tom sits back. He's like, "Yep, keep going." He's going to come across this table.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
So actually, for some levity, we are now Chelsea FC is now Hogwarts FC.
There you go.
Apparently, you can magic somebody into a 4-4-3 setup.
Oh yeah, we do need to dive into that. We do need to dive in your 4-4-3.
We will get to Chelsea in short order. We do what we've got tonight. We've got some comments from Joel and Jimmy that we want to get to. Just kind of put a nice little bow on VAR from our conversation last week. I do have a humorous anecdote about a VAR catastrophe that did happen in Europe this weekend. So
wait. We have comments about VAR. We're talking about VAR again.
Always.
There were no games. There were no English games. Why are we talking about VAR?
We've got listeners who watch other leagues, Brad. So then we're going to talk, of course, about Chelsea. That's all I'm going to leave it at. And then we have a couple other, interesting talking points that we'll get into before we round out this episode with a look at what's going on in Europe. So
it'll be kind of like a Fuego not so rapido.
Fuego medium. Oh.
Yeah, medium fuego.
Okay.
Not so rapid fire.
All right. So comments. First one, they kind of go hand in hand. So I'm just going to read them right basically together. So Joel, he hit us up last week and said it's embarrassing that Brad is calling it a foul still. I would imagine that he's referring, of course, to the West Ham foul on Mendy. West Ham robbed by a corrupt league. Same about Newcastle too. Two teams pushing to get into the top 6 punished for literally no reason at all. VAR needs a redesign, and fast, because it clearly isn't working. Jimmy,
I sense some sarcasm there.
No, I said it clearly isn't working. Is not working. So, Brad, you say you want. It seems you're leaning into the microphone like you want to say something before I read.
I
Jimmy's
did, but I didn't know
comment.
if you wanted to keep reading. But yeah, I mean, West Ham really pushing for that top 18 spot there.
It's early season. The table doesn't matter for a couple more weeks. Jimmy hits us in the well, it doesn't matter, because if West Ham win their next 4 games, they're right in the thick of it, right? Okay.
But why does Arsenal Twitter keep bragging that they're going to be top of the league till October 1?
Because Arsenal fans have had very little joy over the last 15 years. And so we're having a little bit of fun. We're having a laugh. No Arsenal fan actually expects us to win the league, but we might as well have a laugh about it while we can. All right.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Jimmy, the one big difference with VAR, with soccer and baseball is 95% or more of baseball reviews are not subjective. The only subjective call that is the event of a tie, which really doesn't happen that often. Now, the other thing that American sports does that helps is this ability is for a challenge for a play to be reviewed. What happens if the EPL implements that, where a manager can only review 2 plays the entire game, completely changes the intention of VAR? I personally hate that idea.
Yeah,
I think it's garbage. Like, could you imagine? Could you
like
imagine?
the flow of the game?
I think it would turn less into a positive change that he's trying to make here, and turn into a tactical move to slow down the game.
Well, could you imagine the situation? So, my context about a VAR situation in Italy this weekend, Juventus were playing Salernitana, and Juve had a goal disallowed, and then a winning goal in the 90th minute, in 6 minutes into stoppage time. They scored a header, and a player was adjudged to be offside. So, not the player that hit the ball. A player was just offside, and the ball traveled kind of past him. He didn't interfere with the play at all. Didn't really do anything. He didn't really get into the eyesight of the goalkeeper. So if you think about like Richarlison against Spurs, or
Against Chelsea,
excuse me, or you think about there was another famous one I'm thinking about this year. But there's been a couple, like some that have been disallowed for offside people, right? This was not that. Bonucci was adjudged to be in an offside position. VAR comes out. They have the ref go look at the monitor. They've drawn up the lines, and he's obviously offside, right? But wait, they didn't use all of the camera angles available, obviously, because if they had, they would have seen that Bonucci was onside by over a meter, because there was a player near the corner flag that was keeping him obviously onside. But because VAR relied on a terrible camera angle, Juventus had a goal improperly disallowed for offside when the player was obviously onside. So could you imagine this? So we're doing, I don't think Jimmy's actually suggesting that they implement this, but could you imagine getting to that point in the game, having used both of your challenges, VAR makes this blunder of a call, and you can't challenge it because you've already used your...
Well, I think he was saying that VAR wouldn't naturally occur unless it was...
But could you imagine
also,
that situation?
There's probably also rules like what Jimmy's referencing is like the NFL, where in the last 2 minutes of the game there are no challenges.
Okay,
you cannot challenge people on the field. So I'm guessing Jimmy, and he'll probably put this more in the comments, and we'll still have to talk about VAR next week.
Juve would have still lost by that proposal that you're proposing, right, Brad? Because then the coaches would not be allowed to challenge anyway, even if they had one.
Which is what I think he's basing it off of.
I think, just to wrap this up, I think we all are kind of in agreement that VAR needs work. But maybe it's just like the referees need to get better. The referees who are on the field and the referees who are implementing VAR needs to get better. Like, we haven't had a situation that I'm aware of as bad as what happened in Italy this weekend.
No.
That was absolutely unforgivable. Like, I don't know if Serie A has anything to do or can do anything, but they honestly, they need to go back and award Juve 3 points and take a point away from Salernitana. Like, because that's horrible.
So the governing body, I know they're not like MLB where they can be cycled out. Do they have protections that they cannot be fired?
Like the
Or
referees?
like,
No, I don't think so.
yeah, like Paul Tierney or like, so there's not many protections. They're held accountable
I think so.
just the same. Okay. I just was thinking that there just needs to be more accountability, like where if something is so egregiously wrong, then they just fire them midweek and be like, okay, well you're out of here.
Yeah,
And then once that happens, then I bet you the referees get a whole lot better.
probably. But yeah. So yeah, if you have more comments about VAR, you can send them through. No guarantee that we'll talk about them unless we have another fiasco about VAR. Because yeah, I mean obviously. But let's turn our attention now to Chelsea Football Club. So we reported to you guys last Tuesday, and a little bit behind the curtain, we record all of our episodes on Tuesday. So tonight we are recording. This is Tuesday, September 13th. Last week it was Tuesday, September the 6th. And we are recording our episode, and we're talking about managers who are going to get fired, and we're all like, "Oh, the El Sacchio's coming up, and Brendan Rodgers or Steven Gerrard's going to get fired, or it's David Moyes, like somebody's going to get fired, right?" And we spend 2.5 hours prepping episodes and recording episodes, and our boy Todd Boehly was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna let you have that." So we reported, of course, that Chelsea lost in the Champions League. Against Dynamo Zagreb, and that was kind
following morning.
The following morning,
come 4:00 a.m. American time.
So literally, like 5 hours after we're finished recording all of our episodes for the week, Todd Boehly has fired Thomas Tuchel, Champions League winner, finalist of 4 different cup competitions in his 18 months in charge.
Every cup competition we played in.
Fired by Todd Boehly. Sacked unceremoniously.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Brad. He made every final that was possible to be made the final in, except last year's Champions League.
Correct.
That's correct, right? Because he won the Champions League the year before. He was in the FA and the league. And so the only one he didn't make, the only one he did. Well, you got that for winning the Champions League, but you know what I'm saying. Every one that he was possible to make the finals, he made it, except last year's Champions League.
So, when Frank Lampard was fired and Thomas Tuchel was hired, were Chelsea still in the FA Cup that season?
Oh,
did you guys make it to the FA Cup this season? The FA Cup final this season?
Yes,
because you lost.
We lost to Leicester.
You lost to Leicester. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know about the league.
We lost to Arsenal, we lost to Leicester, then we lost to Liverpool.
They were probably
3 FA Cups.
They were probably already out of the League Cup from the fall.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, but it's.
But I want to make an addendum to something that Sean Stradamus has proclaimed.
Okay.
I have proclaimed that Moyes will be the first fired.
Moyes.
I have been foiled not once but twice. So I have been foiled by a team that is represented by a betting company and a manager that wants to run a 4-4-3, or an owner that wants to run a 4-4-3.
And also owns a betting company.
Does he also really?
DraftKings.
Well, does he own DraftKings?
I don't. Oh yeah, he does.
I'll confirm, but I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, or at least he's a controlling owner. Yeah, he's at least part of the management. I would like to say I want those two wiped clean from the record. Moyes will still be the next one fired, because that's ridiculous.
No. Well, you're even wrong about that, because David Moyes won't be the next one fired. It's obviously going to be Brendan Rodgers, but no.
It's going to be Moyes.
Regardless,
I'm telling you.
Regardless of Todd Boehly's 4-4-3 proclamations.
We just talk about how great it is that Tuchel, the tactical genius that he is,
didn't think of it. I know
didn't think of it. No, the tactical genius that he is, and he gets fired for not having a shared vision when the vision was to run a 4-4-3.
Well,
and Tuchel probably the end of that meeting probably was like, "Get your soccer away from me. Go over there. I'm gonna handle the football. You play soccer over there." Get away from me.
You take
If
Kristen.
you're running a 4-4-3.
Take Kristen
Well,
Pulisic with you.
And take Pulisic too, because he ain't playing.
Um,
So like, and Tuchel was probably like, Pulisic your boy. Get your mans.
so
He's trying to run 12 man rotations here.
for some context, Chelsea have now hired Graham Potter from Brighton and Hove Albion. So of course, Brighton and Hove Albion are searching for a manager. They do have Brad. You filled us in on this. Who is their interim manager right now?
Lallana is their player manager. I wonder if he's done his badges yet. Have we figured out if he's done his badges yet?
He's probably had to have done some number of badges to be able to be an interim coach. So he's probably been working on them with the youth team. He might not he clearly doesn't have European badges that would certify him to be a European manager. But
Brighton's not playing in Europe.
Exactly.
But yeah.
He's probably got something.
Can we talk about, I don't know the level of pettiness. He is German. I don't know the level of pettiness of Thomas Tuchel. How great would it be if he took the Brighton job?
I think
no.
I know he's not, but how great would that be?
But so here's the problem:
he's
is
not
the
Mourinho
same reason
petty.
why
he's not
right,
Mourinho
and
petty.
And the same reason why he's not in Chelsea anymore is very similar to the same structure at Brighton that Chelsea want to bring. So some of the Tuchel thought he was getting fired after the Arsenal preseason match when he was like, "It's the same players. Why do you expect goals?" He thought that was going to get him fired. That's when we started hearing rumblings. B, when they came to him about Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was just like, "No, I don't want him. He doesn't fit."
But he's correct about that. From a
I agree with you.
perspective,
But here's the
correct.
thing. And they weren't mad that he said no, but they're like, okay, why? Explain it to us why we don't want him.
I'm sorry, this man is a head coach, a first team coach of one of the biggest football clubs in the world. He doesn't have time to explain it to the dumbass owners why they shouldn't sign Cristiano Ronaldo.
Without a director of football, he is
okay.
He's
the manager
playing as a director of football, and he did not want. He wanted to be the head coach. That's all he wanted to do. He missed Peter Cech being able to be like, "That's stupid. No, this is why." He didn't have an intermediary, and he didn't what they wanted from the head coach was more transparency, more of a conversation, not just yes, no. Apparently, he also wasn't very reachable. He found out that Hudson-Odoi went to Germany by the TV because he didn't respond to the WhatsApp group. He also wasn't available to finish off the Koundé deal. That's why the Koundé deal fell apart, and Barcelona came in. I don't know how much of a hand he tried to play in Rafinha, but I don't think a ton, and I think that was also frustrating.
But
Todd.
He's used to. He's used to a European model, where he is a coach, and that's what his job is.
Correct. The structure that Tuchel was successful in was no longer going to be the structure going forward. I think that's why.
But it's interesting. All this news is coming out now that Todd Boehly is looking very stringently for a director of football, and Graham Potter.
They have been.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. So why are we holding it against Thomas Tuchel for not wanting to be a director of football? And the club is obviously looking for a director of football, and then you fired him for not being the director of football. Essentially, it's just, I don't know.
Very easy.
The communication channels weren't
it's
there,
a dumb
and they didn't think it was repairable.
It's a downgrade.
Oh, it is. Oh, look, and I hope Graham Potter absolutely blows out the water. And I said Tottenham should have hired him before the whole Nuno thing. Did I not? I said Graham Potter should be on the top of the list for Tottenham.
I laughed at you because then I predicted that they would be relegated.
I know. So do I think Graham Potter is a good coach? Yes. His first
over his head.
His first
match.
Champions League game that he has ever been to, he will be on the bench.
So, Sean, you called me and you had an interesting question. You phrased this in an interesting way this morning. I want you to ask Brad that question now.
Who's going to be the manager next August of Chelsea Football Club?
I truly think it's Graham Potter.
Okay.
I mean, I sure as hell hope it's Graham Potter because apparently they've invested £100 million into this whole move.
Yeah, it took a lot. Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel's got like a £20 million payout. It took £20 million to get Brighton to release Potter and all of his coaches.
Release clause.
And then
all 5 of them, and 4 of them, and a recruiting assistant.
Yeah, and then with contracts, they gave Potter a 5-year deal, and all of his people 5-year deals that I guess amounts to in the range of £60 million. So like,
no, he gets £60 million. He's $12 million a year for 5 years.
They gave Graham Potter just under Jurgen Klopp money, just under Pep Guardiola money.
Not just under Pep. Pep is like making like 18, 19. Pep is ridiculous. I think Klopp is up in the ridiculous.
I think they're giving him Antonio Conte money then.
Yeah,
that's what Conte makes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to tie a bow on the Tuchel thing, the easiest the easiest Americanized version of that, that is readily available in pop culture is the movie Moneyball, where there was no Brad Pitt.
Yes.
But there's a point where Brad Pitt says, "I put together the team that I want you to run," and he says, the manager says, "I'm going to run the team. I'm going to put the best 9 players on the baseball field that I feel like I can correctly tell in an interview to the next team when I get fired that I did the best I could." So he's like, "All right, if you're not going to play the first baseman I want you to, I'm going to trade Pena." And then they argue about he's the only first baseman on the team. You cannot trade him. And they argue about it. He's like, "I absolutely can trade him because I'm the director of baseball. I'm the general manager. Yes, I absolutely can. And if you're not going to run it the way I want, I'll get rid of the player you keep playing that I don't want you to play." And so that's what they didn't have. That's between the manager and the director of baseball that shielded the owner from it. So the owner's asking for questions. Tuchel's like, "I'm a manager, bro. I just put the tactics and the players that I have available on the field in a way that I think I can win with."
Right, but
past that, you ask me who I want. This is a list. This is a list of players that would be nice. You tell me who you can get. I'll say yes or no. Otherwise, I'm gonna be back making tactics.
Right, but also they felt that his tactics weren't there either. In that his first 50 games, we had 24 goals conceded. His last 50 games, we had 53. But but we played 5 games without Rudiger.
You guys are appreciably worse. Okay, your defense is entirely different. I don't know.
From January? No, it wasn't.
No injuries last year?
No.
Yeah, Rudiger was injured a little bit last year.
Weren't you complaining about
Rudiger wasn't? The wingbacks were.
Ben Chilwell's been missing for 6 months. Reece James only came back in like April. Like
wingbacks were. No, Ben Chilwell was out forever. Reece James was
plus
out
Conte,
for like a month or two. But
plus Conte,
but from
Conte was out
to 53, and 5 of these 7 attackers want to leave. These are all the things that were part of the reason that built the case.
It's a bad decision. Anyways, we're moving.
I want to tie a bow on Tuchel, not drag back in.
Let's untie.
Wait, no, let's get to his German compatriot.
Speaking of Klopp making 18. Is this his last season at Liverpool?
I think that's an interesting question.
Brad's probably heard the 7-year curse before, where he spent 7 years at Frankfurt. He leaves Mainz. He leaves to go to Dortmund. They get relegated that season. The year, not the season after, the season that he left, they were relegated.
And
then he goes to Dortmund.
Did he spend 7 years at Dortmund?
Spent 7 years at Dortmund, and the year after they did not. Clearly, they didn't get relegated, but they didn't have a good season. And now we're in the 7th year at Liverpool, and it's not looking good.
And do you know who always follows a Jurgen Klopp team? Who the next manager is?
Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel.
Generally speaking, Tuchel went to PSG.
Took over from at Mainz. Took over from him at Dortmund.
But then he went to PSG.
And then because he wasn't fired yet.
I will say this about Jurgen Klopp. I don't think Jurgen Klopp gets fired. I think so. A little context: they did win their match today against Ajax. It was dicey there for a while.
Yeah.
It was 1-1 for the longest time for like the entire second half. I think it was Joel Matip had a header in like the 80 something minute to win the game, but it didn't look like Ajax. Like it looked like they could win just as easily as Liverpool could have. So could you imagine had they lost that match, lost their first 2 matches in the Champions League plus their league form?
That's hot.
I don't ever think that FSG would fire Klopp, but I think that Klopp might look at a situation and say, I'm a good manager. These are good players. There's something going on here. I need to walk away for the better. Like, the situation isn't going to improve with me here, so I'm going to walk away. I could see Klopp leaving before he gets fired, and not leaving from like I need to protect my pride standpoint. I think he legitimately loves Liverpool Football Club, and I think it pains him. I think it would pain him if he felt like he could not get Liverpool Football Club to where they belong to be. And so I think Jurgen Klopp would quit before he gets fired. Now in the inverse, if I want to like talk about a manager who I think would quit to save their own skin before, I think if you look at like Pep Guardiola, I think Pep Guardiola would absolutely walk because to save his reputation. Like,
yes,
I think if I'm thinking about those 2 top tier managers, I think that their motivations are different. But do I think Klopp leaves Liverpool this year? I still think Liverpool finish in the top 4. I still think that they make a deep run in the Champions League. I still think they make a deep run in the FA Cup. Like, I have no reason to believe that they're not going to like turn it around. I mean, but I guess to be fair, they're one more Thiago injury away from being incredibly thin in the midfield. So I don't know. I don't think that he leaves.
I just see a lot of push from, of course this is Twitter, so you have to kind of filter the bull crap and the trolls out. But there does seem to be a lot of sentiment of regret from Liverpool fans that they have not successfully replaced Wijnaldum.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like if you talk about like the Jurgen, like the Klopp out, like issues like Klopp uncertainty or like distress, things like that by the fan base.
It has to do that they've had basically the same start in 11 for 6 years.
But I think my point was going to be, I think we've all seen Tamzid make tweets about that. Like, and I don't know how serious they are. And like the dude's been a Liverpool supporter for 25 years. But like and like when you talk about somebody who's been a Liverpool supporter for 25 years and it's like the previous 25 years, you have to understand that like they suffered for the first 18, 19 years. They got
a Champions League out of it.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple highs, but like there was a lot more suffering as a Liverpool fan over the last 35 years than there was successes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call that suffering really when you get a Champions League. I mean, you don't get a league, you get a couple FAs, you get
Sean's begging for a trophy right now.
Yeah, like what's suffering, buddy? You want to talk about suffering?
Martin Skirtle is suffering.
Yeah, when you got Martin Skirtle, when you got 2 baldies on the field, you got Martin Skirtle and John Joe Shelby on the same team. You're not having a great time. You got Jose Enrique streaking up the left.
Yeah, so I don't know. Brad, what do you think? Do you think he's done after this year or at some point this year?
I think he's checked out. I think he signed the contract because his wife was like, I don't want to leave yet. And I think he expected this to be his last season because he signed like another 2 years there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's fully in it. I don't know whether he'll be fired or maybe it's run a form or whatever it may be, but it just doesn't feel like Klopp is Klopp. Like he's on the sideline more. He's not as animated as he normally is.
This is going to feel like revisionist history and like the way I'm saying it, but like I was watching that Champions League final last year and I meant to tweet it out that like this feels like the end of an era for Liverpool. Like it feels like this is like the end of the run for them. And like Mane's leaving, everyone's like 90 years old. Like Salah feels like he's not there anymore. And he hadn't signed the contract extension yet. So like you didn't know what his future was like. So it really felt like it was like kind of the end of an era. And
I don't think Virgil can. Yeah, I don't think Virgil can cover for Trent anymore.
But even beyond like the actual like structural playing issues on the field, I don't know if Klopp wants to do the hard work again that he had to do 7 years ago. like that, like you had to, like, I don't know if he wants to go through the suffering again in order to like reach the summit again. And like, he clearly can do it because the man is. Clubs will be firing their managers, will be offering to fire their managers if Jurgen Klopp is available. Like,
Yes.
many clubs in the world will be like, oh, do you want to come to X, Y, and Z? You want to come to Juventus? Max Allegri will yeet him. Don't care about him. You want to come to I don't know about Bayern Munich, but like, you want to come to PSG? I don't know this Gutierrez guy.
Gaultier, they're yeeting. Well, no,
Yeah.
they're not yeeting. They're going, hey, Mbappe, do you want Klopp as your manager? Okay, we'll eat him.
Oh, I got to work hard? Then no.
Yeah.
Will's not clamoring for circle formation ball. He's not clamoring for that.
I don't think so.
James, I'm gonna switch gears to this right here,
sure.
buddy. I want to talk about Arsenal's next round of games here.
All right, hit me with them.
So you go, me. You go, Tottenham at home.
No, Brentford.
Midweek.
Brentford. We got Brentford this weekend.
Brentford away.
No, you're postponed, buddy.
No, Brentford's not.
It's back on?
It's been on.
It's been on. There's 3 games postponed this week.
Yeah, I thought Arsenal were on.
Nope.
Arsenal's not one of them.
All right, whatever. You get Brentford. Who gives a crap? All right, you got Tottenham at home.
Win.
Okay. You got midweek. Now this is when it gets dicey because you got a midweek Europa.
Win.
Then you've got Liverpool at home. Then you've got a midweek.
Wait.
Then
You
you've
didn't say
got
anything about the Liverpool game. Wait. What about the Liverpool game there?
Yeah, I hear win.
I didn't say win.
You didn't say anything.
All right.
I didn't say
All
win.
right. So that's a draw. Then you've got a midweek Europa.
Yeah.
You play the same team. I don't know if that's just a generic game
it's
filler.
No, it's because it's match week 3 and match week 4. You always
okay.
So I don't know if you should know this, being a club that's in European football.
No. Normally we enter in the knockout stage.
It's the same in the Champions League. Look at your Champions League schedule. You play.
We don't play in a lot of group stages of Europe. We just get into it after.
Match week 1 and match week 6 are the same. Match week 2 and match week 5 are the same. Match week 3 and 4 are the same. How do you not know this?
I don't know.
Then to finish it,
So you go midweek and then Leeds and then you go Man City on
midweek.
the week.
City's midweek.
Time out about that Man City game. That game's probably going to get postponed for the PSV Eindhoven game that needs to get rescheduled. But you're questioning me. You're coming at me and you're saying Arsenal have a tough run of games coming up.
The Man City game. You're forcing United in there. I saw. United are getting put in here. So the Man City game is getting moved for United.
No,
for Everton.
We've already played United.
Everton.
Why was United in your? Because I wrote it down.
We played United We lost to Manchester United a week ago.
All right. Then I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was about. Was it a cup game?
No. That was in the league. They lost 3-1. We made fun of them for it.
We didn't draw United in the league.
Once Tottenham starts a run where you play 2 games every week for the entire month of October.
We have 9 matches in the month of October.
Yeah.
Bring them on. Who cares?
So my ask is, do you have the depth? This is where you're going to find the depth. I said it in the preseason episode.
Do we have?
I talked about Tottenham. We talked about Tottenham's run, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, we just need to add players because we're just going to need bodies.
Every single team that's playing in Europe has the same number of games in October.
Everybody has 9 games.
You have 9 games. He has 9 games. Manchester City has 9 games. Liverpool has 9 games. Who cares? You got to play them. Bring them on. Like, this is. I am excited. October is going to be freaking awesome. Arsenal on Sunday. Arsenal on Thursday. Arsenal on Sunday. Arsenal on Thursday. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I would prefer it to be Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday. But I will take what I can get. And the thing is about it, like, yeah, we have to play Tottenham. Yeah, we have to play City. Yeah, we have to play Liverpool. But A, those games are all at the Emirates. So, like, that's something that's in our favor. B, you guys have to play Arsenal. Like, you like don't like Arsenal are no slouches this year. And if you come into the Arsenal match with that mentality, you're about to get banged out against this Arsenal team. This Arsenal
Richarlison's
team,
about to be juggling in the corner.
and he's gonna get fucking cleats to his chest by Zinchenko.
I told y'all when he started juggling, I said to Brittany, "Oh, he's gonna get boom." Yep, so there it is. Yeah, okay.
Like, yes, it's a tough run of games. Yes, it's a lot of matches. No, we actually, interestingly enough, have less first team players now on our senior players. We have less senior players in our team now than we did a year ago. So like, there's less bodies to call upon. But I don't care, man. The players that we have are going to fight for that shirt. And they're gonna put it all out there, and we're gonna have a month, and whether it's a good month or a bad month, we'll see. But I have supreme confidence about our European run. Like I have no concerns about Arsenal in the Europa League. Do we have some tough games in the league? Absolutely, but we have to play them. So let's fucking play them.
Brad, you want to make a note to talk to him on November 1st and see what he thinks?
I'm not.
You'll probably have the cardboard box behind him.
Nah, son.
Yeah, when he drops 12 points in October.
Yeah,
nah, not gonna happen. If you think that this Arsenal team is gonna do that, I think that.
Well, I'm looking at 9.
Okay, so
out of 15.
So you're obviously
Tottenham are beating you. Liverpool are beating you. City are beating you.
We're not that City game's getting postponed. But why are you so confident that Tottenham are beating Arsenal? Why are you so confident?
Because they did last year.
So did
Tottenham.
Arsenal.
Speaking, I just said it was a different Tottenham after talking about my favorite joke earlier.
He's got
where
hope.
Someone just for the listeners, let me get right in the camera here.
Take your glasses off.
Somebody asked on Twitter earlier, how the F did we give up 2 goals in extra time in a Champions League game? What is wrong with us? And I just replied to them, you can always spot a new fan. You must be new here. It's just what we do. Welcome to being a Tottenham fan. So it's just what we do.
I rate Tottenham's manager. Antonio Conte is a phenomenal
manager. I
think we
all
do.
Yeah.
Conte out?
No, absolutely not.
But I don't buy your player ratings. Like, you are very high on the players on your team, but I will point out that Eric Dyer still plays professional football for Tottenham Hotspur football.
We like him now. This is a Dyer supporting Twitter now. We don't hate Dyer anymore. He's a quality center back. He should be on the English squad.
Please line him up against Arsenal, because Gabriel Jesus is going to eat. He's going to eat.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Romero's gonna have Gabriel Jesus eating grass.
Okay, well then who's guarding Martinelli?
Oh, that's not Royal. So hopefully Spence is ready to go.
Who's guarding Saka? You only got one Romero, bro.
Perisic?
It's Perisic. I got that one. But yeah, only got one.
Stretched.
Only got one Romero, and Martinelli
is stretched.
Perisic is losing ACL against Saka. I'm sorry.
No, Sesson Young can keep with him. I just don't know if he could defend. He could stay with him running. Right. I don't know if he could defend when he gets there.
I appreciate your confidence, and I appreciate you needing to talk shit on Arsenal, but this is a different Arsenal team. So
this is a different Tottenham team.
All right. Speaking of,
let's skip the next point because we're out of time. Let's just move to a quick European roundup. I see what I wanted to do that, but let's talk about Europe because we have had some matches played through match week 1 ended last week, and then match week 2 has kicked off. So we're just gonna kick the highlights for you guys from English teams. So Napoli beat Liverpool 4-1 in Naples. Spurs beat Marseille 2-0 at the not Tottenham Hotspur's White Hart Lane Stadium. In the Europa League, Arsenal were away to FC Zurich and beat them 2-1, and Real Sociedad got their first victory over English opponents or something like that in the Europa League against Manchester United. So
Cristiano Ronaldo missed like 7 shots.
Good for them.
I think those were all expected results. On to match week 2.
Match week 2. All right. So this week, match week 2, we've had of the English games that have already been played. Sporting Lisbon beat Spurs 2-0. This is the same Spurs team that's about to come rock Arsenal at the Emirates. Just throwing that out there. And then Liverpool played a nail-biter against Ajax that we talked about earlier. There was another big game. There was Bayern Munich was hosting Barcelona. It was Robert Lewandowski's return to Germany, to Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich get the 2-0 victory. Tomorrow in the Champions League, we got Chelsea hosting Salzburg, City hosting Dortmund, and then I threw Juventus and Benfica in there for Will, and because that's kind of that's a big European continental match. And then on Thursday, the Sheriffs are hosting Manchester United in the Europa League. Arsenal and PSV Eindhoven have been postponed due to lack of police resources in London for Thursday night because, of course, Queen Elizabeth's casket is now at Buckingham Palace. So there's going to be a lack of police resources available to help ensure that that match is safe. I guess
What happens if Sheriff win?
memes. Nothing happens. Eric Ten Hag's job is super secure. He could finish 8th, get bounced from the Europa League in the group stage. His job is so secure. He's not on a hot seat. The Glazers are not going to rock that boat unless Jurgen Klopp is available. They're going to have that conversation, and you know what Jurgen Klopp's going to say?
No.
Get Ronaldo out of there.
He's not even going to pick up the phone. He's not even going to pick up the phone.
No, he's not answering it.
So,
Probably the only one maybe we should address is just sometimes you lose away at a very good Portuguese team.
I mean,
I got
the thing is,
I got nothing.
You're trying to win
Looks
the
like
game. You guys
yeah,
are
it
trying
looks
to win the game.
well. It looked like we were trying to try to draw the game. We did have more attempts on goal that just weren't going in. I don't know what the XGs was. I don't normally look into that. I can probably look it up after this, but
0.83 to 0.95. You guys did lose an XG, but not significantly.
But I would say, Sean, to your point about trying to draw the match, I do think that you guys were trying to draw the match until they scored, right? So like Sporting scored on the corner, which was a phenomenal corner.
Then we got beat on the counter.
And then you got beat on a counter. So like the scoreline looks bad, but it was really just like, crap, we conceded in the 90th minute. We need to try and get a winner. We have better players. Let's attack. And then it's just like, oh, okay, well, we got beat on the counter. So,
yeah, I unlike many Spurs fans that I see, I am not troubled by that. We are still in second in the group. It's okay. Like, everybody take a deep breath. It's fine. We play 6 of these things. We've only played 2, and we're still in second. We're still moving forward, so it's okay. Yeah. And we beat the hardest one. Frankfurt's not even the hardest one. They were the number 1. We beat Marseille. Like, all we got to do is beat Frankfurt, and we're good.
Well,
like, calm down.
Frankfurt did win
Marseille.
Europa League.
You beat Marseille in London, so you still have to go to France. So that's going to be a different kettle of fish.
Like, whatever.
All right.
Anyways, like I said, I'll see you in January.
And I think the other one to mention. Well, this is Graham Potter's first Champions League game, but the more interesting game tomorrow is Haaland going back playing against Dortmund, his old team. That's going to be very, very interesting.
Well,
what coincidence that is! I am so surprised that Bayern drew Barca in the group and City drew Dortmund in the group. Wow, color me surprised, UEFA. Hey, look,
are you suggesting that there's a conspiracy theory here?
Imagine that.
Wait. If there was a conspiracy theory, then it would be Barca Chelsea this year.
Okay, Brad.
In the group stage.
Is it written in the stars somehow?
They were in the same. They were in the same pot, buddy.
Yeah, Brad doesn't know that. He doesn't understand these things. He just says things and says it's written in the stars.
And then it happens.
It was written in the stars that they were in the same pot, so it was in the same sky.
Brad,
okay, I got it now.
Finish your thought so I can get us out of this podcast. That was already astronomically too long.
See, watch Haaland dominate Dortmund.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's going to. All right. If you're new here, I meant to say this at the beginning, but please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're, finding us, stumbled upon us, if YouTube promoted us somehow and you're still here, thank you for listening for these last 40 minutes, and we really appreciate if you could hit us with a follow button, hit us a subscribe, whatever it is. Check back in with us, leave us a comment, hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. That is at whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany, and we collectively are at redcard_radio. Check back later this week. There will be a preview episode because there are some matches going on this weekend in the Premier League, and we will preview those matches for you guys. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.